Hey, everybody. Hey, Texas. Now, I hope you guys are noticing. May try to get a little more light on myself because there is a shadow. Of course, I got my hat on. But anyway, I'm hoping that everybody that's in here watching this right now, all four or five of you, are noticing a big difference in the way my video looks. I'm hoping that I'm not looking all washed out and all that jazz. Because here's what I did, in case anybody cares. I found a video on YouTube where a guy was talking about how to make your webcam look like a DSLR camera. And as many of you know, DSLR cameras cost a pretty penny. They can cost upwards of $400 or more. The cheapest one I found was $400. And the more and more I got to thinking about it, I um, thought, I hate to drop $400 on a camera that I'm just going to use for live streams. I'm not, that much into photography or anything like that. I'm not doing any kind of professional photography. So why should I drop all this money on it? And I got to thinking more and more about it. So I watched this guy's video, and he was basically saying, he talked about a C920 Logitech camera, but I have a Logitech streaming camera, and I figured the settings would be similar. So I just went in there and made adjustments based on what he said in this video, and I was like, voila! I mean, I no longer does my face look like it's in harsh bright light. It doesn't look washed out. It looks more natural. So all I had to do basically was tweak some settings. So if there are those of you out there that have a webcam and you do quite a few live streams, okay, if you're pre-recording video and uploading them, it's probably a little bit different. But if you're doing live streams and you want skin tones and all that stuff to look more natural, I would suggest looking at this video and it's all of like a 12-minute video. So, and I didn't even put everything into effect that he talked about, just mainly the settings on my webcam itself. So, if anybody wants me to put I probably could just find this real quickly. Hold on here. I should have subscribed to this guy. Oops. Okay. So I found I found the video. So let me don't necessarily want to play it, but I'm going to put the link in the chat. And John, I think you have the same type of camera I have. So I feel like you could probably watch this video and, tweak your settings just like I did. And it really doesn't take long, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get those things all tweaked and all that good stuff. And I did turn on the HDR, which was not something that he suggested, but I thought, hey, why not? And just a little note, John, for the Logitech cameras, you're probably going to have to get something, I believe it's called Logitune. That's like an all-encompassing thing that automatically detects your webcam, and then you can just open up the settings for your particular webcam and make the changes that way. So let's see. Well, thank you, John. You said good lighting. Thank you, Texas. You say it looks great. Um, um, I don't. I don't think I mess with those particular settings, John. I'm not even sure where where those are. Uh, Maybe I did, and I just didn't know what they were. You say nice, I'll check it out. Yeah, it's if you have a webcam and you just want to make things look a little better, I do notice that, my hair is not the best hair in the world, but I do notice that messing with those contrast settings a little bit helped it give, things like my hair and stuff higher definition anyway. And you guys that have beards and stuff like that, that may cause them to pop just a little bit more. And Steve bought another energy drink today, and I was like, "Why did you buy an energy drink on a Sunday?" And he was like, "I don't know." I said, "Well, so if you don't drink it by the time I do my live stream tonight," I said, "Can I drink it?" Yeah, I guess. So that's what I'm doing. I'm drinking his Starburst strawberry C4. The other thing I asked him was, why did you get a C4 whenever you claim that those C4s make your skin feel all prickly? He said, I don't know. So, go figure. Um, Anyways, um, I have introduced a new segment into the streams, which I refer to as the Daily Grindhouse. So I made a new intro uh, preceding this live stream for the Daily Grindhouse segment, and I'm going to try it out here in a second, and I hope you guys like it. So we're just going to give this a go, and then after a few second intro is over, it's about 30 seconds, then I will do the Daily Grindhouse. So you guys enjoy. All right. There was my little 30-second jobby for the Daily Grindhouse. Um, well, thank you, Darren. I just got through telling everybody that I looked at a guy's video on YouTube about how to make any webcam look like a DSLR. And I was like, gee, this is worth a try. It's free. And watch this video and, mess with my settings on my webcam, and maybe I'll be able to get pretty much the same results he did and not have to spend $400 or more on a DSLR camera, which made Steve happy as well. um, Well, thank you, Texas. I'm glad you liked the intro. I mean, that one didn't take me too long to make. The intro to my streams actually took me longer, and eventually I will have an outro. But I just haven't gotten around to making that yet. So, now that we're into the Daily Grindhouse segment, something I wanted to show you guys during this segment that unfortunately I could not find these prior to me being on Dead Pits, the history of the Evil Dead on home video. And guess what? The other day I found them. They were on my Stephen King bookshelf towards the bottom, and I was sitting on the floor and I was tending to Brandon. I looked over, and there those jobbies were. And what I'm talking about is my Evil Dead lunch boxes. I still have not been able to find the VHS that came in those things, but I can at least show you guys the lunch boxes now. This one was the one that was put out by Anchor Bay. Please excuse the dust on them. There is a little bit of dust accumulating. So you've got the classic Bruce Campbell shot. If you turn it around, you've got the original Evil Dead artwork that was used on a lot of the posters. Now, if I open it up, you see there's nothing inside, no thermos or anything like that, and no video because I have been unable to locate the videos. I'm sure they're in a box or some kind of VHS holder somewhere in this house. I just can't find it. Now, the other one is a little more robust. It's a little more sturdy. And this one was actually put out by NECA. But again, if I remember correctly, this one also had an Evil Dead VHS. So you have the same artwork on the front and the back. But if you open this sucker up, I'm going to try not to let this fall out. You actually have an Evil Dead thermos in here. And no, I've never used the thermos. So, you remember how in your school lunch boxes, sometimes the thermoses would start to leak. Shoot, I can't even get this thing out here. I was going to try to get it out of here to show you guys. Golly, it should come out there easier than that. Let's turn it to its side. That'd probably be better. And here's the thermos. It's got the little thing where you could put a little cup of soup in there. It's actually, got an inner seal there. In case you guys care to see that. But anyway, let me put this sucker back in there. I'm not sure how to get this sucker back in there. There we go. There we go. All right, so I'm going to fasten that back up. But I did want to show you guys that really quickly because unfortunately I didn't get to show it during the Dead Pitch. Okay, so just a few toys that I wanted to show. Okay, this is basically a surprise, a bonus watch along that I actually was not planning on doing at first. But then I thought, well, heck, why don't I have, a Tom Hanks double feature? And we did He Knows You're Alone last night. And tonight, we're not doing a horror film. Well, we're doing a comedy film that may have some, kind of horrific elements in it, albeit, dark comedy type of stuff. And that's Joe Dante's The Burbs. And I'm going to read John's comment there in just a second about Evil Dead Rise. But I think for those of you that have never seen The Burbs, I really think you're going to enjoy it. If you have seen The Burbs and it's been a while, this is kind of going to be I think a fun trip down memory lane a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to this. And you remember how I told you that Monday I probably wouldn't be doing a stream because of the Matthew McConaughey event that's going on? Well, I found out that the Matthew McConaughey event is going on tomorrow afternoon. So it will be over in plenty of time for me to do some kind of live stream. So I will plan on trying to put something together to do. Oh, and by the way, and Steve doesn't know this, know that I ordered this. And he's probably going to be like, oh my God, dang, you're insane. Um, but I have got a new green screen coming because I really want to start using the green screens again. And I liked the one that I attached to the back of my chair. It was very convenient. You just strap it on your chair and you're good to go. However, the fabric is not really tight on that one that I attached to my chair. So I saw one on Amazon that is basically a pop-up one, and you pull it up instead of pulling it down like a film strip screen or a screen that you're going to project a movie on. So you basically pull it up, and then when you get done with it, it sits behind you once you pull it up to its actual height. And then once you're through with it, you just push it back down in there, and it's, about yay big. And you can just set it out of the way somewhere. So that is coming Wednesday. So maybe I'll be able to use it when, if it gets to me in time, maybe I'll be able to use it when TJ and I do the first edition of our Monsters live stream. So John says, hey, Darren, I keep meaning to catch up on you and Dirk's shows. I've seen a few. It's good stuff. Yeah, I really need to get caught up on their stuff because they're doing a lot of interesting stuff. John, you say, by the way, saw Evil Dead Rise this morning. Really liked it. The fan service stuff was a bit much, but they were bound to do that. If you ever do a full review show, I'm curious to see everyone's thoughts. Well, actually, John, that is forthcoming. What I wanted to do was mainly give everybody enough time to see it. That's probably going to see it. And then we'll just have a free for all. And if a lot of people want to come on the stream with me and give their thoughts on it, I was thinking I'd wait another week, let the majority of people watch the movie that are planning on watching it, and then maybe the first of next week do a big. It's not going to be spoiler free, so just keep that in mind. But allow all of us that want to get in here on one stream to discuss and review and critique and all that. So, so I just thought that would be fun. Maybe next Monday or so we could do that if everybody's agreeable to that. John, you say I'd be down for that. It's really solid, very gory. I won't say more, huh? Yeah, but we can say anything. Basically, when I do this free for all review, it's going to be, I'm going to tell you guys up front, and I will put it in the description that, hey, if you've not seen Evil Dead Rise, you might not want to come to this stream. You may not want to look at the stream when it's on YouTube till after you've watched it. Unless, of course, you're not planning on watching and you're just curious what everybody's saying about it. Because that's something that I don't want to do. I don't want to ruin this movie potentially for anybody that was maybe late to the game. Okay. So, number one, I'm giving it a week before I do this. Number two, I'm going to have a warning, a disclaimer in there that this is not spoiler free. We're going to talk about anything and everything in this stream. So, I just don't want there to be any kind of miscommunication and somebody be pissed off because the cat was let out of the bag, so to speak. So, I'd love to have anybody and everybody on that. And I think I'm going to plan for next Monday to do that. Probably around 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is generally when I do my streams through the week. Darren, you say, Dana, you should start doing 10 or 15-minute film reviews or review your recent pickups, etc. Yeah, and that is something that I could definitely incorporate into the daily grindhouse. Um, so I will definitely put that in my wheelhouse of things. There's a lot of things I'm wanting to try and trying to, spice up the streams a little bit. I mean, hence me tweaking my webcam settings, and hence me getting the new green screen and all of that. So, yeah, you guys throw whatever at me, and I'm going to try to incorporate all of this stuff at some point or another when you guys, because you guys are throwing out a lot of good ideas here. And, you know, I don't I don't think that you would put them out here if you didn't want me to take them into consideration. So I thank you guys for giving me all the suggestions. And Darren, you say Dirk saw it today and said it's a good 7 out of 10. He gave it. Yeah, I'd maybe go a little higher than that. Maybe possibly an 8 or a 9, which is, you guys know, that's pretty high praise for me when I start handing out numbers like that. John, you say, isn't it funny? People get mad a week later and say, spoilers, LOL. To me, a week is total fair game. Yeah, I really, in all honesty, John, I do think it's fair game after a week. I mean, if you hadn't seen it within a week's time, then you never really were that interested in going to see it. Because when I'm really interested in seeing something, I go as soon as I can to see it. Now, Steve and I didn't go on opening night or anything, but we did go Saturday. Okay. So, one more thing I want to bring up before we get into this, and it's going to be a short thing. I'm not going to go on and on about it. I went on about it a little bit last night. So, here's the deal. There's a guy or a person. I'm not going to say guy or gal. There is a person that has been, I consider it harassment, because anytime you're talking about somebody's appearance or making fun of their appearance, I consider it harassment. I don't go on here and make fun of other people's appearance, and so I don't expect them to get on here and make fun of mine. I know I'm not the best looking person in the world. I'm just your average person. But that's not why I'm on YouTube. That's not why I do these streams. I do these streams purely for entertainment purposes. And I don't need that flack and that static from people that think it's funny. Their sole purpose for having a YouTube channel is to either make stupid comments on videos, or to come into the live chat and make stupid comments there. I can ignore it to a certain extent, but this has been going on for around 13 years, on and off, with the same individual, and in various forms. First, it was private messages on YouTube years ago, talking about me and my cousin being ugly and all of that. And now this person has progressed to, they think it's funny to refer to me as Rocky Dennis. And if you guys don't know who Rocky Dennis is, he's the young boy who Masked, the original Masked movie, not the movie with Jim Carrey, but the one with Sharon Eric Stoltz, was based on. Rocky Dennis, or Roy Dennis was his real name, was a guy that was born with a facial deformity. Basically, his skull kept growing, and eventually he passed away because of this, because The skull continually growing puts pressure on the brain and all kinds of things. So, um, I am not saying that Rocky Dennis was ugly. He was the unfortunate victim of a facial deformity. And for somebody to continually refer to me as Rocky Dennis um, is not only hurtful to me, but I'm not saying that Rocky Dennis's family or his mother or anybody would see these comments. But if for whatever reason they did, it would be hurtful to them as well. It would be hurtful to the memory of Rocky Dennis. And it's unnecessary and unneeded. So um, I am going to probably soon be appointing people moderators. So if you have objections to being a moderator in the live streams, please tell me, hey, Dana, I don't want to be a moderator. I don't want that, you know, and then I won't add you as a moderator. If you don't care, because some people have said, no, 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 hey, I'll be a moderator. And basically all you have to do, if you're a moderator on these streams, is if you see somebody coming in here being a jerk, you can kick them. It's not going to guarantee that they're going to stay out of here, but it'll get them out of our hair for a certain length of time. So, um, and Darren, probably moving forward, I have contacted YouTube to see if I can get this person permanently banned from YouTube because they don't have any videos on their channel. Like I said, they're just here to aggravate people. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that they're aggravating. I'm sure that it could be multiple people. But yeah, I agree. They got nothing better to do. Just ignore them and delete their shit. So again, if you have any reservations about being a mod on these live streams, just let me know. Hey, Dana, don't add me as a mod. I don't want it. Texas, you say definitely unnecessary. I don't like that happening to you. Well, plenty of people have chatted with me in private about it, and they say they don't like it either. But from here on out, the person's not going to get any more attention. I'm just going to appoint people as mods. And if they show up, start saying stupid shit, they're going to get kicked. Because I don't have the time to deal with that crap anymore. Johnny says, so strange. This person must be real miserable. Yes, definitely a miserable person. Well, thank you, Texas. I appreciate that. I will definitely be appointing you a moderator. Darren, you say you'll be a mod as well. So I will, I may be able to do that right now. Well, maybe I can't I thought I could do it from here, but I don't want to block you guys. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. But but rest assured, I will do that in due time. So tonight's movie, before I lose any more people, is, like I said, Joe Dante's The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks. Again, I think this is going to be a fun one. I figure a lot of you in here in the chat have already seen The Burbs. I know old Curly Jaws told me last night that he had not ever seen The Burbs. And I was like, oh man, you're in for a real treat. Now, he's supposed to be in here tonight, but I don't know what all he's got going on. So he may be in here later or whatever. So if anybody wants to join me live on this stream for this watch along, I will put the invite back in the chat. Which there it is. And I will also put the link that's from the Internet Archive or archive.org in the chat as well, because we're going to get started here soon. So, how's everybody watching this tonight? I figure John's probably watching it through the archive.org link. But if you have your own copy that you want to, try to get synced up, that is fine. I am currently on where the Universal logo is getting ready to come up. So if you want to get your respective copy queued up to that point, that is fine. I'm about 2 seconds in on the archive.org link. Okay. John, you say, this ain't Tony Moran, is it that guy? You say, just kidding. Nah, actually, no, I don't think it's that dude. John, you say, I'm actually parked in the truck now with my dog right now, waiting on food pickup, but internet is good enough to stream. That's cool. So when everybody lets me know that they're all queued up and ready to go, we'll go ahead and get this party started with the Burbs. Steve's already indicated that he thinks I'll be back here 2 or 3 hours at least. We'll see. I kind of had to cut out a little early last night, just a little bit earlier than I had intended to. Because Brandon was beating and banging in there, and I didn't have any idea what he was into in there. And so had to cut out and go check on him. So Texas, you are ready. Darren, are you going to be watching along with us on the Burbs? Oh, no, that's cool. You're actually doing a bit of writing, but we'll watch the stream and hang in the chat. That is cool, Darren. Writing is a good thing. I'm never going to say that writing is not good. So does anybody know if Dead Pit is doing anything tonight? Because you know how I always hate to impede on their stuff. I know there was a record store day thing that CK was doing, I think last night, but I'm not seeing anything. I don't see anything that says upcoming that's popping up here. So, let me just go back here. Johnny says, same, I'm just hanging, but I've seen Burbs so much I can figure out where y'all are. You're probably like me, John. You've seen this movie a lot. You said Burbs is in your top 10. Yeah, it's up there for me too. You say no Dead Pit thing tonight. I don't think. It didn't appear that they were having anything tonight. So I was kind of hoping that CK and Uncle Bill would show up tonight, but that might be a toss-up. They may be busy doing other things or busy with their families and all that, which I totally get. So without further ado, I think we're going to go ahead and get started with the video. And so, like I said, I've got it 2 seconds in, queued up right before the little globe shows up for the Universal logo. So we're going to do the 3, 2, 1 and press play. So 3, 2, 1. Press play. And I do believe if you guys are watching the archive.org version of this, if you're going by the link, that this is a high def version of this because this looks pretty damn good. At least on the computer, it looks good. I remember watching this movie as with my family when it first showed up on television. I don't remember renting this one, but I do remember watching it on TV though. So we got Tom Hanks on this movie. We also have Bruce Dern, who is great in this. Corey Feldman, who, again, no matter what you think of Corey Feldman now, he was great in this movie. So we got some creepy old house here. There's Bruce Dern's name, where something's going on in the basement of the house. Carrie Fisher's in this. God bless Carrie Fisher. Rick DeCumming, who is also sadly passed away, so God bless him. Wendy Shao plays Bruce Dern's wife. And Corey Feldman, of course. So we're going to see that these, Courtney Gaines, Henry Gibson are also in this. Courtney Gaines, y'all will remember from Children of the Corn, Dick Miller, Robert Picardo. But we found out those legs walking belong to none other than Mr. Tom Hanks there, who his character is unable to sleep, and the neighbors are making way too much noise, so he's going out there to see what in the heck's going on here. I like a lot of Joe Dante movies, the Howling, this, almost anything that Joe Dante has done, I really enjoy. Do believe, guys, sorry for yawning. I do believe that this is the first quote unquote comedy movie that I've had a watch along for. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think prior to this I'd always done horror movies. But there's nothing that says we can't mix it up a little bit. I like that shot of Tom Hanks throwing his coffee at the paper boy. And this is a guy with a very bad wig on. Jeez. Well, he's going to send his dog Queenie after the paper boy. I don't know what Queenie's going to do. Well, Queenie's actually going to go into Rumsfeld's yard, and Rumsfeld is played by Bruce Dern. And Queenie's going to take a big old crap in Rumsfeld's yard. And Tom Hanks is looking really intently at this dog taking a crap in that guy's yard. So, but this is what happens, doesn't it? When you live in the suburbs, when you live in a neighborhood, isn't this what happens? Somebody's dog takes a crap in somebody else's yard, or they take a piss in somebody else's yard and it messes their grass up. everybody knows what everybody else is doing in the neighborhood. Um, you and here's the introduction to Corey Feldman's character of Ricky, who I guess his parents are out of town and they've asked him to paint the house, and he's going to paint the house, but he's got to have his whole stereo system up there. And there is the very awesome Bruce Dern here, who is obviously a military guy, and his very hot wife, played by Wendy Shaw, there. And Ricky doesn't miss a beat with Mrs. Rumsfeld. He's got to make a few comments about her. Oh, see, that's what happens when the neighbor's dog takes a crap in your yard. You end up stepping in it. It's also what happens if you have dogs at your house and you don't, periodically pick up the poop out of the yard. And there's Carrie Fisher. John, you say this whole thing was shot on Mockingbird Lane at the Universal Backlot. I want to go sometime. I would love to as well. Um, wow, I didn't realize that, John. You say that's the same street as House of a Thousand Corpses. Hey, Blair, welcome. You say, hey, Dana, love the Burbs. Well, you're going to enjoy tonight then, because we're just getting started. We're about 6 minutes, 30 seconds in. So Mr. Rumsfeld is getting pretty, he's getting pretty heated. And there's Queenie barking at him there. So we find out that Tom Hanks's character is on vacation from work, and what is he gonna do with his free week? He's gonna sit around the house and and his wife makes these comments that you're up at the crack of dawn watching a dog poop, and uh, are you going to sit around here all week and do nothing basically but pal around with Rumsfeld and uh, Rick DeCummins' character, who's going to show up here shortly. So in his defense, Tom Hanks is like, I just want to sit here and read my paper and not have to think about anything. But his wife is wanting to go to the lake, and he's basically, I mean, I know this is not PC for him to say, but he's talking about the neighbor with the enormous head. If they go to the lake, wait for him to get drunk and fall down the steps. And so his wife says he's hydrocephalic, and I think you shouldn't make fun of him. But I think a movie such as The Burbs, and there have been other movies that Tom Hanks has been in that had this same flavor. I think these are the types of movies that really let Tom Hanks shine as an actor, and they let him show off his comedic elements. And here's Rick DeCummins' character here, and the reason why he's got a gun is because his wife wants him to shoot the crows or something because they're messing up the garden or something like that. And so that's why he's doing this. Johnny said, Tom Hanks in this movie is me anytime I'm overworked and then I go on vacation. Yeah, I think that it's a very, that's standard attitudes for people that are stressed out and overworked and they take a vacation. They don't want to do anything. Unfortunately, my husband is like this every day of the week and every weekend. He's just so wore out from each week that he literally says, all I want to do is sit down and watch movies. I don't want to go anywhere, don't want to do anything, don't want to talk to anybody. And that's it. So, on a smaller scale for this movie, that is pretty much the state of mind that Tom Hanks's character is in. Um, oh my gosh, Blair, I have many favorite quotes from this movie. This movie is very quotable. And I don't say that about too many movies, but this is one of them. It is very, very quotable. A lot of those quotable lines are courtesy of Corey Feldman. And when we get to the pizza dude part, there's going to be a lot of them. But also, I don't know if we've gotten to it yet. I don't think we have. Where Mr. and Mrs. Rumsfeld are doing some gardening and she's got some skimpy outfit on. She's kind of bent over, and Ricky looks over and says, no tan lines this morning. Look, looks nice, he says to Mrs. Rumsfeld. And Bruce Dern, Mr. Rumsfeld, says, that kid's a meatball. So now you have Rick to come and like just kind of coming over to Tom Hanks's house, Ray's house, and just kind of helping himself to breakfast. He's like, I think that's the dog food bowl, and here's a character that will eat anything and everything. So you best not bring any bowls of anything by him, or he's going to reach in there and get it. So anything that's not nailed down, basically, he's gonna eat it. So his wife, Rick DeCummins' character, his wife is out of town, and he's talking about the neighbors, the Klopeks, and he says there's some weird stuff going on there, and he's meanwhile he's still looking for some food to eat. Johnny says something about this movie makes me want to go hang out with them on the porch and speculate on the Klopeks. It does me too. These guys would be the perfect neighbors. They would be the coolest neighbors ever to hang out with. Yes, Blair, you're going to pick it up because you're the trash man. John, you say he's like the Kramer for Tom Hanks in this movie. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So now he's got a pineapple. He's got some syrup. What's in that pan? Is that meatloaf or something? And all the while he's trying to get Ray to admit that there's something strange going on at the Klopeks house. Oh, okay. So it looks like ribs there. So again, he's going on and on. He says, before the Klopeks moved in, the Knaps lived there, and they don't know where the Knaps went at this point in time. They just kind of disappeared, and then the Klopeks moved in. But he's saying that even if the Knaps weren't social, they at least mowed their yard. They had a yard to mow. But the Klopeks are just all out weird. So this is the scene I was talking about where Ricky looks at Mrs. Rumsfeld at her honey, and he, as Joe Bob would say, and says, "No tan lines this morning. Looks nice." Okay, but this is one thing I've never seen in a neighborhood is a chick that looks like that, um, with those outfits on, doing gardening out in their yard. So, but what Tom Hanks and his buddy are doing there, what Ray and Art, I think, are doing here is they're basically doing what you see a lot of men do when they've got some time to kill in neighborhoods or suburbs. So Ray's dragging out his tools and showing off the tools. Um, they're hanging out in the garage but something keeps drawing their attention back to the Klopek's house. And I think eventually, here in this scene, we're going to see one of the Klopeks come out, played by Courtney Gaines. And Courtney Gaines looks very different as this character, if in comparison with his character of Malachi on Shore of the Corn. Everybody is like they're dumbfounded that somebody's actually come out of the Klopek's house. Texas, you say you forgot Courtney Gaines was in this? Exactly, John. It came with the frame. Yeah, I can't say it exactly like him, but yeah. Um, Now, horror fans are going to really, or I feel like they're really going to love this upcoming scene where it's a little bit later, but it's after Art is basically saying that the Klopeks are Satanists, and he does a Satan is good, Satan is our pal speech or chant or whatever. Um, and then, of course, Ray has a nightmare that night after he's cycling through the television channels and he can find nothing but horror movies on. I believe The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, things like that. So, horror fans will really appreciate that little bit, I think. What you got in the cellar, Klopek? Yeah. Again, this movie is so quotable. It's so quotable that there are very few movies that are as quotable as this movie is. So we're still seeing, it's going back and forth between Ray and Art and Hans. And here's something else that happens. I think primarily between men in neighborhoods or suburbs is that generally all the guys will get together, and if they think something odd's going on or somebody new is in the neighborhood, um, they just almost like dare. They're like overgrown boys. They'll dare each other to go up and meet whoever the new person is. And so that's what Art is doing to Ray's like, you missed your chance, buddy. You didn't go up there, and now, who knows when they'll come back out of the house. So now Ray is, kind of shaming Art, and he's like, well, if you want to go meet these people, then you go up here with me. So they're slowly going up to the door. Again, everybody is watching. And this house is the most dilapidated house on the street, too. Everybody else's house looks like happy, sunny, a family lives here. And then their house looks like something out of Psycho or something. So first, Art falls through the porch. Oh, sorry, guys. And then you saw the 666. It was 669. The 9 fell upside down, turned to a 6. Oh, no. And now there's bees. Now they're getting attacked by bees. This is another scene I love, the whole dance thing. And then Mr. Rumsfeld, Bruce Dern is coming with the hose to try to spray them with the hose to get the bees off. Um, and that's another thing. Even though there's a lot of stuff going on in these scenes, um, it's so it's so innocent. And I don't think neighborhoods in general in real life are that innocent anymore. And nor do I think that they're portrayed as innocent on movies either. This was 1989, remember? So it's been quite a few years. And I think it's a little sad that we've lost that innocence in movies, even in comedy movies. Ooh, yeah, that's bad. Yes, Blair. Red Rover, let Art go over. Um, no, it's never too much with a movie that's this quotable, Blair. And we're doing a watch along, so it's not like we're just sitting here trying to watch the movie. Um, yes, John. Bruce Dern is in constant Vietnam mode in this movie, but not quite as much as um, gosh, shoot, I'll think of it here in a little bit, or I won't. So it seems that Ray is taking Vince, their family dog, out for a walk, and probably to relieve himself and all that, or for the dog. I mean, not Ray. And clearly, you can tell that Ray does not want to go past Klopek's house. And there again, there's Art and Ricky, I guess, having a beer on the front porch. I mean, unfortunately, too, you know how I talked about I don't think things are as innocent as they used to be in real life or as in movie life as well. But I don't, you know, guys, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think neighbors like each other so much. Or, there might be a one or two neighbors that you like enough to go sit on their porch and talk. But I don't think neighbors are as closely knit as they used to be. I guess I'll say it that way instead of saying they don't like each other. John, you said this represents a time where comedies were still well written and clever without having to be meta and dumb jokes. Yeah, I totally agree. The story could play out without being ADD constantly. Yeah, John, it makes total sense. People write so ADD and impatient now. Johnny said, "There's nothing in this movie that makes me grow. Now in a comedy, it's like every other line is eye-rollingly stupid." Yeah, there, and like I said, there is no innocence in comedy movies even now. Um, and there was a during this time and even earlier, there was a division between the comedies. There were these kind of comedies that you could probably safely have a family sit down and watch. On the other hand, you had sex comedies that were more for the adult crowd. Okay. And so a clear division. Now it doesn't seem like we have any clear division. They're all just, to me, they seem to be rolled into one thing. So they all have sex or sexual innuendos, um, or, you know, I'm sure there's some curse words used in this, but again, it's PG-13, so it's not going to be that bad. There's a huge difference between damn or shit or, something to that effect. And even when they show them on TV, they are more conducive to a family watching them because some of the stronger words, of course, they're going to bleep out or cover up in some way. So, I'm not a prude, I'm not for censorship and all that. But these types of movies are safer for primetime audiences. They're safe for the little ones to watch along with the rest of the family. Now I don't feel like we have that. Unless it's a Disney movie or something like that and clearly meant for children. Okay? But there are no family type of comedies like the Burbs anymore. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that or you feel like I'm wrong on that, but that's what I'm seeing with movies that have come out in the last few years. Hey, Blissful. Oh, that's okay. No problem. I mean, you guys can come in at any point in time. I have no rules about that. Um, John, you say, yeah, I agree. Not many comedies these days besides TV shows, maybe. And yet, and even then, we don't have many. I mean, Steve and I have discussions sometimes where he's like, I don't like sitcoms anymore. That's what Steve says. And I said, oh my gosh, I grew up on sitcoms. That's what I love. And we don't get a lot of that anymore. So not only has the movie landscape changed, but the television landscape has changed. With the introduction to a lot of reality television, it seemed like reality television kind of took over. And if you're a person that likes reality television, I'm not putting you down for liking reality television. I'm just saying I think that's what put the kibosh, most of it, on sitcoms. Um, I think sitcoms died, pretty much a slow death. There's a few floating around, but again, even those sitcoms, even if they're on primetime television, are not as innocent as they once were. Not the stuff that a lot of us grew up on. Blitzel, you say you're absolutely right. Well, I'm glad I'm not sounding like I am totally out of left field here. Now, I'm not so sure that, I mean, again, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm not so sure that even back in 1989 that grown men would have associated this much with a teenager. Um, but maybe, perhaps they would have. But I think it's neat how Joe Dante worked all of this in. So it seems like to me that Ray escaped pretty much unscathed from the bees, but you can see that Art clearly has a couple of bandages or band-aids on him. Yeah, Blissful, you said the last sitcom I really enjoyed was The Goldbergs. Yeah, that was one of the few, I guess, like holdouts. Um, but we don't get um that influx of sitcoms anymore. And you ask most, especially younger people, if you ask most people what they like to watch on television, sitcoms will be the furthest thing from their mind or furthest thing that they would say, hey, this is good television. I forgot to add this little banner or the little ticker on the bottom. I was wanting to try this because I think old Curly Jaws had this going whenever I was on that participating in that interview that he did. So I'll keep it running for a little bit. And I know most of you that are watching the movie won't be seeing this, but I just thought it was a cool thing to to try out. I'm hopefully going to be adding some new things to the streams here and there along the way. Like, oh gosh, I wish I'd quit yawning. Overlays and different things like that. So you guys that are interested in that kind of stuff, you can be on the lookout for it. So Ray's kind of PO'd that they scared him, and so he's decided he's going to go back to the house. Now, I don't know if this is a real cereal or not. Probably not. If you guys know, you can fill me in, but it's called Freakies. So Ricky and his girlfriend, she's like, I thought we were going to the movies, and he's like, no, this is better. Now, kids now, you would not catch teenagers sitting out on the front porch and just watching what the neighbors are doing. They wouldn't care at all. Um, so this is again, 1989 was a different time. It was a different world. All of that. where you probably could find some teenagers that, instead of going to a movie or going to get pizza or, whatever the heck kids do now. I'm so out of the loop, I don't even know what they do now. Um, it seems that in this movie that the adults are acting more like teenagers, sneaking out of the house, not telling their wives what they're doing, um, trying to, sneak around and find somebody doing something nefarious. And all the while, the teenagers are watching these adults acting like teenagers. So I think it's very unique and interesting, the way that Joe Dante sets up this, kind of sets the stage here for the Burbs. And they're meeting up with Rumsfeld, who, has all this equipment, because he's an ex-military guy. So he's got a night vision scope and all this stuff. Liz, what you say? My cousin's son is 6. He had a zombie apocalypse costume on. I'm like, what are you letting him watch? You say it was a wonderful time. You were 19 at this point in time. I was a little bit younger. I was what? I was about 13, 12, 13, depending on what point in time that this came out, because my birthday's in June. So I wasn't I wasn't too old. Um, but yeah, I really recall liking this movie a lot. And guys, I'm sorry if I kind of fall behind some of you that are watching this, the link from archive.org, because I've noticed I don't think it does it so much on YouTube, but when I'm watching it from like archive.org or Tubi maybe and stuff like that, when I switch back and forth between the chat and the movie, it seems like it pauses it whenever I switch back to the chat. So I apologies if I get a little bit behind some of you that are also watching this link, but I think relatively we'll stay pretty synced up. And I probably around 7:30 ish, well, probably in about 15 minutes or so, I'll probably go and grab me a snack and bring it back here, because that might be part of the reason why I'm yawning so much. I probably need to eat something. So it seemed that there was a big explosion over at the Klopex house, and Ray and Art and Mr. Rumsfeld are still, kind of sneaking around. Oh, but it looks like the Klopex, somebody is driving the car out of the garage. And I believe this turns out to be Hans, Courtney Gaines' character. And he's driving the car down to the end of the driveway where the trash cans are. And the 3 guys here are going to see something very odd. Something very odd is going to happen here. And also, Ricky and his girlfriend are seeing this as well. So he's bringing a very heavy something or other in a trash bag out to the trash can, and he can barely hold that. So is he just gonna leave it there or what? Oh no. He's got a hoe, a garden hoe. So he's basically he's beating the hell out of whatever is in this garbage bag. Because that's what you do, right? You take your garbage out to the end of the street and beat the hell out of it with a garden hoe. That's what everybody does with their garbage, right? So then good old Hans is back in the car, back into the garage. Oh, man. I was hoping this energy drink would help me. Seem to be running out of steam earlier and earlier all the time. Here's another thing I notice about this neighborhood is it storms and rains a lot here. There's a lot of lightning. That's another line I like where Ray says, "I've never seen that. I've never seen someone drive their garbage down to the trash cans and beat the hell out of it with a stick." I was just seeing if there were subtitles or closed captions on here. Doesn't look like there are though. So now Ray is seeing the neighbors out in robes and hoods, out digging what appears to be mass graves, or numerous graves out in their backyard. Okay, so here's the introduction to Dick Miller and Robert Picardo's characters here. This is a very, very funny scene here. Um, So Robert Picardo seems to be, pretty much the guy that just rolls with it, goes with the flow, tries to be understanding of all different personality types and stuff. So here, here comes Art running out and leaping over hedges and all that, and wants to look in the garbage. Dick Miller thinks he's crazy, of course, because Dick Miller's character is the more straight laced guy. Robert Picardo, meanwhile, is just helping him dump the garbage out all over the street. So Ray's wife um, wants to get him out of town, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it. And I think he basically tells her, "You go, Carol. You take our son and you go to the lake. So he's doing this thing where, he's basically through the majority of this movie, Ray has the same t-shirt and sleep pants and robe on the whole time. So his son comes in and says that Art's throwing garbage all over the street, so Ray thinks he better get out there. And there's also Rumsfeld mid-shave there. This has got to be one of the greatest scenes ever filmed, is this whole garbage scene. You know what somebody should do is place Eric Freeman saying "Garbage Day" in the middle of this scene. And that's where he says, "You're going to pick up this mess because you are the garbage man." There's the lovely Wendy Shaw again. And it seems that Queenie is out there by herself. And she's dirty and stuff. Obviously not being taken care of. What's my timestamp? Texas. 35 minutes, 37 seconds in. He texted, you said that would be perfect. Maybe I need to do that just for the heck of it when I get some time to do that. It's garbage day. Ever since I heard Joe Bob say it, I've been kind of saying it like him. So they're asking Ray what he saw the night before, and he's like basically telling them that they were digging holes that look like graves, And Corey Feldman's character of Ricky says, and buried them in the backyard. Dick Miller's little jab there about naked ladies. So they're going over to Walter's house. Walter is the owner of Queenie, the small white dog there. So they're going over to Walter's house, and again, Mr. Rumsfeld figures out a sneaky way to breaking and entering into Walter's house. I'm not sure. Does anybody know if that tool that that Mr. Rumsfeld has is an actual tool that you can use? Looks like a picture of Lucille Ball there. I don't think that would be a good idea to set that dog up on the counter. And oh, so she screamed over something. I think she thinks it's a rat, but it's Walter's rug, Walter's hair. So basically, they had this discussion about, one thing about these old guys is they never leave the house without their hair. And again, no matter where they go or where Art goes, he's always got to try to find food. Um, so a plate got broken, and Ray is like, let's get out of here, you know. Yeah, apologies, Texas. I think because with me switching back and forth between archive.org, I don't know why it pauses it. Um, I can bring mine ahead a little bit if you'd like me to. Um, because I imagine you're at the part where Art and Ray are talking about Satan is good, Satan is our pal, that particular scene. So just let me know if you want me to, bring it bring it further along, because I don't think we're going to miss anything here. This is these this is the chanting that John was talking about last night. I must kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal. So you say they just got the bone. So this is a scene too. I know I'm a little bit behind Texas, but this is the scene where I was talking about Ray. Ray was watching. All he could find on television was horror movies. And no matter what he did, no matter what channel he turns it to, it's The Exorcist, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. His wife is politely mocking him for, you know, playing down in the basement with the Art, talking about the Klopeks being Satanists and all that. Um, so I believe this one scene is from Race with the Devil, um, the first scene they show. Um, and I love the dog's expression there. So he turns it. Here's the puking scene from The Exorcist. Turns it out, and it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. There's Caroline Williams being menaced. So this would be a horror movie fan's wet dream right there. That every channel you turn to, there was a different horror movie on. Um, so then Ray has the nightmare. So I fast forwarded a little bit to where they found the femur bone. And they think that this is part of Walter, unfortunately. And the whole scene where he's like, Ray, this is Walter, and they are no, that is comedy gold there as well. This is right. This is Walter. And the camera zooms in and out. This is so great. Uh, I did. Then Ray continues to scream after the ominous music has stopped. So then they see, one of the Klopeks walking on the other side of the fence there. And he throws something over there. It looks like a paper wad. And so Ray is freaked out because that's the note that Art had left for him. And so then it goes into one comedy gold scene to another one where Ray runs into the door as his wife is opening it. Carol is opening the door. So now I think they're all over it. They're either at they might be at Ray's house still. Either that or they're at Mr. Rumsfeld's. Um, so the ladies think it would be a good idea if they went over to the Klobak's house and introduced themselves and stop acting like, little children over this. So they didn't invite Art. They told Art that he couldn't go over there. And as you can see over there to the left, the trash is still all over the street out there. And so Wendy Shaw has made some brownies. And there's Hans answering the door. So I think that may have been a goof there, unless they put a rug over the hole that Art made, because Mr. Rumsfeld just made 2 more holes in the porch. I think there are leaves now in the brownies. But the brownies look good though. Hey Wes, evening Dana. I saw this one in theaters as a kid and not much since. I need to rewatch it. Well, you definitely do, Wes. I I would highly recommend that. Um, you can tune in on archive.org. I've got a link in here for it if you want to finish up watching along with us. Um, I'm about 53 minutes in. Texas might be a little bit further than that. Um, but guys, I am going to step away real quickly here and get me something to snack on. There's the line where he says it came with the flame. But I'll be right back. So I got, in case anybody cares, and I hope you don't mind me rattling this bag of tortilla chips, but yesterday I got some 7-layer dip um, at Kroger's, and I've been dipping some leftover tortilla chips from the Mexican restaurant near the house in this 7-layer dip, and I must say it is pretty tasty. Um, what am I drinking tonight? Well, actually, Steve got, I don't know why he got it on a Sunday. It's a Starburst Strawberry C4. And I was like, why did he get it on a Sunday? Um, and he said, oh, I don't know. And I said, well, here's the thing. I said, I'm doing a watch along tonight. If you don't drink it before I do the watch along, can I drink it? And he was like, yeah. Um, Apologies though if I seem like I'm drinking a lot of it. Oh, you're kidding. So Uncle Bill is saying Evil Dead Rises dog shit, way worse than 2013. Well, I'd love to have him on, unless he just absolutely hates it so much he doesn't want to talk about it. But I'd love to have him on next Monday, because I'm basically going to do kind of free for all where anybody and everybody can get on the stream and talk about what, give their thoughts on the new movie. And it's not going to be spoiler free. That's why I'm waiting a week. But wow. Just wow. I don't know what to say to that. Um, so we're going to get the introduction to Henry Gibson's character here, who is basically, he's supposedly a doctor. And he's like, we have guests, And so he's been the guy that's been in the basement all the time. And so, strangely, Ray seems to, and he's going to say that here in a little bit, is he, for some odd reason, all of a sudden he thinks the Klopeks are clean. And again, Art is once again creeping around trying to figure out a way to spy on the Klopeks, even though he wasn't invited to go over to their house. Basically, Carol said, nope, no dice, you're not going over here. And Mr. Rumsfeld is trying to make heads or tails of this painting. And Wes also is an extended answer to what was I drinking tonight. I'm not drinking any alcohol tonight. So, Wes, I guess I should ask you, did you guys go and see it together at the same time, or did you see it separately, or has he seen it and you haven't seen it? Because I was kind of curious what you thought of it, what your initial thoughts were. So Dr. Klopek is basically saying they're going to have to move again. So Ray seems to have spilt some hot tea or coffee on himself. And on the other hand, Mr. Rumsfeld is asking all the probing questions. So Ray says he has to go to the bathroom. And oh no, that's a big old dog. It's a Great Dane, it appears. Uh-oh. Oh, and that Great Dane has set its sights on art there. I don't think Great Danes are known for being like guard dogs or vicious dogs, but so what did you say? I haven't seen it, not sure when I'll get the chance. Okay. So at this point, Ray seems to have calmed down considerably um, regarding the Klopeks. So now they're all discussing what everybody thinks. And they want to know what Ray thinks. But because the women, pretty much think the Klopeks are harmless. And then Ray says, I think they're clean. And Art and Mr. Rumsfeld can't believe it. They cannot believe that. So we're going to find out here that the reason why Ray did this, and once he gets the ladies out of the room, we find out that what he said was just to appease the ladies. So Ray's about to pull something out of his shorts here, and it's Walter's hair. Well, where did he find that? He found Walter's hair in the Klopek's house. That's a great line, too. Nobody knocks off an old man in my neighborhood and gets away with it. And as we can see, the trash is still there. And the Klopeks are leaving out in their car with the dog. So now the guys are going to see their opportunity. And meanwhile, Ray's family, Carol and their son, are going to go to the lake and leave Ray there. But now Carol trusts him because, he gave that big old speech about how he thought the Klopeks were clean. So, you guys, that's how you get rid of your wife when you want to do something that, she's not going to approve of. And you also have a buddy that dresses like that and makes her believe that you guys are going to go out and play golf. And now Mr. Rumsfeld has went full on military mode. And Ricky is calling up all his friends because he knows something big is going to happen tonight. Sadly, something must have come up with old Curly Jaws because has anybody else seen him in the chat? Because I sure haven't seen him. So I get the feeling that Art is not an electrician. Something tells me he's not. Maybe he is, but I suspect no. Actually, this is probably something that would kill a normal man. But this is movie magic, and ours is not a normal man, I don't think. And his fingernails look like those kids on the children after their school bus goes through that toxic cloud. But Art did succeed in taking out the alarm system for the Klopek's house. Hey, Rob, you say you think YouTube put a hit out on old Curly? Well, they're sure taking his channels out left and right. So I'm not sure how many cans of paint Ricky has there. Like, how many different colors is he going to paint the house? Now, here's an example of a gun that in recent years, a lot of us have determined that normal people don't need. Another great line, courtesy of Corey Feldman in this movie, is I love this street. Because if I'm remembering correctly, it's said numerous times in the movie. So Art and Ray are in the Klopek's backyard, um, and they're determined that they're going to find the bodies that are supposedly here. But what they really want to do is make their way into the basement because the basement seems to be where all the action is occurring. Art's wallet seems a little worse for wear now. But they're going to do the old credit card trick on the door. Let's see if it's going to work here. Nope. So Ray just breaks the window. So Ricky is inviting his friends over. And Mr. Rumsfeld's none too happy about that. Hey, Kelly, you said the Burbs. Love this one so much. I love it too. And I think you guys are going to love what I've got in store for you next Sunday. Because an idea just popped into my head here, and I'm going to share it with you guys when the movie is over. So stay tuned for that. So it seems that everybody is coming over to Ricky's parents' house. So this guy's like, "Hey, dude, when's the big unveiling? You know, I got to go to work at such and such time." And Mr. Rumsfeld's eating animal crackers up there on the roof. So if Wes is still in here, or if anybody else knows, I thought I knew how to add people as mods, but evidently I cannot find that option. So if anybody, including Wes, knows how to add people as moderators on this on StreamYard, please let me know. If you don't know, I can maybe figure it out myself. I'm wondering, I bet I have to do it from YouTube. I bet. So, yeah, but I still can't figure out. Okay, here we go. So, I'm going to be adding some people as managing moderators on here. Okay. So, again, if you don't want to be a moderator, I guess I'll have to do this for each, probably each live stream I do. Um, so, again, if I add you as a moderator and you don't want to be a moderator, then that is perfectly fine. You can let me know. Just adding a few people here. Okay. So, anyway. Yeah. Johnny said, poor Curly got the YouTube crosshairs on him. Bless his heart, he certainly did. He needs to wear a luchador mask on his next channel. Maybe that would help. Um, Johnny say, yo, Rob and Kelly, love y'all's channel. I agree on your Evil Dead thoughts. Liked it a lot overall, though. Kelly, you say they have him in literal YouTube jail somewhere in a small windowless room. That's what you say. Kelly, I'm picturing him clanging his tin cup. Yeah, Rob, if you're talking about like the moderation abilities I'm giving y'all, managing moderator, yeah, I'm pretty much giving y'all, as much power as you can give on these live streams, just because I just want to have a few extra pairs of eyes. Um, might never see that person again, but jerks are always coming out of the woodwork to try to cause trouble. Um, Kelly, you say I really liked it. John, I thought it was entertaining, the right amount of creepy. And now that Rob and Kelly are in here, I want to re-announce that Monday, around 8 p.m. or next Monday, not this coming Monday, but next Monday, around 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be having a live stream, and it's not going to be spoiler free. This is going to be a free for all where everybody that has watched the movie can come in on this live stream. We'll get as many people as I can fit in here. I think I can have 9 or 10 people plus me in here. So if you want to come in and talk about Evil Dead Rise, it's just going to be a fun free for all. You can talk about what you liked, what you didn't like. You can talk about if you hated it, if you loved it, if it was just meh. All thoughts are welcome. All perceptions of the movie are welcome. And I don't care if you liked it, hated it, didn't care one way or the other about it. I want you to come in here and talk about it. Oh, you're welcome, guys. Kelly, you say, ha ha, blissful. He'd be making noise chanting his down with the YouTube government. So did y'all get some kind of big notification when you were made moderators? John says, "Whoa, I feel like I just got a Mario mushroom. Ha ha, thanks." That's what you say, he has gummies on his boxers. You really? Did you ban me from my own channel, Rob? Man, gotta watch who I give that control to, right? Yeah, I would love you to come in, Kelly. I would love anybody and everybody that wants to come on and talk about it, because here's the thing. Not only this reason, but there's a lot of reasons I want everybody that has seen it to come in and talk about their thoughts on it. It's because I just I just heard from CK that Uncle Bill absolutely hated it. It said it was it was worse than the 2013 remake. And I was like, whoa. So I would love, love, love to hear what Uncle Bill thought about it. Blissful, you say I'll promote it in the community. I'm in there. There's a lot of horror fans. Well, thank you, Blissful. Kelly, you say Rob takes any power very seriously. Oh man. Um, so I'm going back to the movie, but I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. So Texas, if you could let me know about where you're at, I definitely wanted to talk about the pizza dude scenes, but they're digging aggressively in the basement. I'm about an hour and 19 minutes in. And Ricky and his buddies and his girlfriend are all, you know, look like they got a candlelight vigil going on. So his friend is saying, we're going to go get some Mickey D's or something. And he's like, no, I got the pizza dude coming. And they're like, all right, because who's going to turn down delivery pizza? Right? Oh, and it looks like the Klopex have come back home and they know that something is not quite right. Something's going on at their house. Robbie said, Uncle Bill hates everything. He needs more fiber in his diet. Uh, Blues, you say, Rob, we need a GoFundMe for grape nuts for him. Oh, man. So now the coal pegs are backing up and going away. So I think we're just about to the spot where Ray and Art think they've hit pay dirt. Okay. And Art is yelling in the radio, telling Mr. Rumsfeld that we found Walter. Well, let's see if they found Walter. So this may be Art's wife coming back home. Either that or Carol. Oh no, this is where Walter's not dead in the basement because Walter has died. Evidently, we'll find out that Walter was having some chest pain, some discomfort, and his family took him to the hospital, and now he's back home. But Ray's not listening because Ray is still digging very aggressively and covering up the radio. So the Klopeks are back with the cops. And so Art tells Ricky to stall them. So he literally jumps out in front of the Klopeks car, and they're just going out around him. So now he's got to try attack. He jumps on the cop car, and he says that some people broke into my parents' house and they're eating their food. So Ray has hit a gas main. And oh man, the whole house exploded. But where's Ray? And that blonde guy that was beside Ricky and one of his other friends there, believe it or not, that is the guy who played Jerry on Evil Laugh, the weird blonde guy. So the Klopeks look heartbroken that their house has exploded. And Art is worried about Ray because he's like, well, we don't see Ray. The house exploded. What's become of him? Ah, there Ray is. Looking a little worse for wear, but he's making it. So Art is still circling around Ray, wanting to know what he may have found. And Mr. Rumsfeld was telling one of the Klopeks that, there's going to be a lawsuit, mister. Okay, so Carol is back home now. And Carol wants to know what in the hell is going on here. Where is Ray? What's going on? Why is the Klopeks house exploded and on fire? And she's went over the police tape and, basically she's like, that's my house. I need to find my husband. Um, Ricky is trying to get through the policeman and the police tape and all that, and they're not having any of it. So there is Ray with a very bandaged head there. And they're basically going to tell him all the charges that are going to be filed against him. And Art, I suspect, because the cops are really, really angry. So Art is still trying to tell the cops that the Klopeks, are killing people and burying them in their backyard. And the Klopeks are telling another cop that, hey, we don't know what in the hell these guys are talking about. We just, went on a day trip, and came back, and these guys blew up our house, and we don't know why. Here's where he's telling Ray, all the different charges. And all Ray does in answer is, I really like your hair, to his wife. So Ray's getting ready to lose his shit here. And here it goes. And nobody could do this part like Tom Hanks. This is great. This is typical Tom Hanks comedy gold here. And then he says, here in a second, he's going to say, I've been blown up. Take me to the hospital. But he's still ranting about throwing garbage in the street and all that. So Art just very calmly says, I don't know what to say. What do you want me to do, Ray? You want me to move? Yeah, he's getting on the stretcher. He's like, take me to the hospital. I've been blown up. So nobody's picking up the stretcher. So he's going to put the stretcher in the ambulance and get in there. So Carol's basically telling him, uh, I'll meet you at the hospital. So he comes over and wants him to get off his car. This is the scene where Corey Feldman, Ricky, says, chill out with us. We got the pizza dude coming, which is another great line. There have been several great lines about the pizza dude. I'm going to do that to one of these days to Steve if he's stressed out. I'm going to order a pizza and I'm going to say, chill out with me. I got the pizza dude coming. And see if that works for him. So now, Ray's talking to Dr. Klopek in the back of the ambulance, and he's telling him how sorry, sorry about it destroying your house and all that. And Dr. Klopek is going to give some very sobering news to Ray here in this scene. About the Knapps, which were the previous tenants of the house that just exploded, the house that the Klopeks were living in. So basically, he's going to tell Ray that they murdered the Knapps and took over their house, and now he's going to murder Ray. So he's getting his stretchy latex gloves on. And he's like, "You saw my skulls, didn't you?" My brother always liked that line. He always thought that was funny. Yeah, this is where he says the skulls belong to a neighbor of yours. Their name was Snap. So he wants a replacement skull. So he's going to take Ray's skull. And oh man, Hans is driving the ambulance. Very erratically, I might say. So they're thinking, what in the hell's going on now? As if we haven't had enough craziness in our neighborhood. And there is that's a pizza van. You know, I've never seen like that many pizzas. Um, so here goes Ray and Dr. Klopek, you know, sliding out of the ambulance on the stretcher, still battling it out. So everybody's going to run over. The back, the trunk on the Klopek's car is popped open. But we don't yet know that there's anything maybe nefarious inside. But now Ray's went back, he's reverted back to citizens arrest, citizens arrest. Meanwhile, Ricky is curious about what's under that blanket in the back of Klopek's in their trunk. And the cop said, "You don't have any evidence." And Ricky's like, "We do now. Got a whole carload of skulls and skeletons." Oh, I love this. "Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going?" That's another great line. And then Hans falls down. Mr. Rumsfeld falls down. They're still battling it out. Um, and then Art gives this speech about don't mess with people in the burbs because we're not going to take it anymore. So Ray, bless his heart, is still shambling around the street. And I think by this point in time, he wants to take a real vacation with his wife and his son, a proper vacation. So, in case you didn't know whose house the ambulance and stuff crashed into, it was Art's house, and now Art's wife is home. And she's wondering what in the hell has happened to their house. And their house is on fire as well. So he's telling Ricky to watch over the neighborhood while he's, you know, taking a break from everything. And Ricky is just about to deliver the line. God, I love this street. And with that, Corey Feldman gets the last great line of the movie. And we're fading back out on the comedy gold classic, The Burbs, directed by Joe Dante. So now I'm going to read through these chat messages. Kelly, you say, really? Wow, that's surprising. I wonder if UB would have liked it as a standalone if it were not a part of the Evil Dead franchise. I don't know. I would have been. I said I would be more accepting. I might not like it any better, but I would have been more accepting of what was called the remake if it hadn't been called The Evil Dead. So I really don't know. That's another reason I'd love to have Uncle Bill on that review free for all that we're going to have next Monday. Johnny say, honestly, I'm okay if anyone hates stuff. He'll hate a lot of shit. Hell, I hate a lot of shit myself. I know I couldn't stand Terrifier, but people loved it. Yeah, I'm okay if people hate it. I just like to know their thoughts on stuff. I'm just curious about that. Kelly, you say, I think it would still be good, even if it were just a demon possession that's not even affiliated with Evil Dead. Yeah, I could see that too, Kelly. I would agree with that. Johnny said, but I do think this Evil Dead was way better than I thought it would have been. My thoughts exactly, John. You say anything is better than TCM 2022. We can all agree, hopefully. I think we can all agree on that one. You say, I love this ending. I'm glad Dante did this reveal. Yeah, I do too. I think he really really pulled out all the stops on this one. Bliss, you say, I'm having movie flashbacks. I have a custom Twilight Saga bracelet order. Oh, yes, Kelly. You say, I think 80s, 90s Tom Hanks. It's hilarious. Blissful agrees. Rob, you say it's impossible to remake or recapture the magic of the original Evil Dead series. I completely agree with that, Rob. That is a very um, well said statement. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was the perfect storm, and it would be awful to watch someone try to pretend to be Bruce. No way, no thanks. Yes, and that's what I've been saying too. In the same way that, and I brought this up a couple of times before, in the same way that I couldn't see anybody else playing the tall man other than Angus Scrimm. I think the time has come and gone for anybody to try to do the Ash character, including Bruce Campbell himself, because Bruce Campbell has said, I'm too old to do that part anymore. He would like to offer it up to a younger person, but I just think they need to just no more Ash stuff. Just, like Evil Dead Rise was, in my opinion, an extension. Not really a direct sequel, but just an extension of things to do with the Deadites and the Necronomicon and all of that. Oh, wait a second. Hey, Uncle Bill, you say, just to clarify, I did not like it as a standalone. I did not like it as a franchise piece. I did not like it in a house. I did not like it with a house. I did not like Evil Dead Rise. I did not like it, guys. Thank you for the Dr. Seuss explanation, Uncle Bill. But now that you're in here, Uncle Bill, I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, but I am having my plans are to have a massive free for all review and talk about your likes, dislikes, your hatred, whatever, next Monday, not this Monday, but next Monday, to give people at least a week, to all the people that want to watch it first, because this is not going to be spoiler free. So, Uncle Bill, I would love to have you on for that. And you can stay as long as you want. You can get on there and just real quickly say what why you hated it or whatever you want to say. Um, you don't necessarily have to explain yourself in thoroughly or anything. You can just get on there and say a few things, and if you're busy, you can get back off there, or you can stay as long as you want. So just wanted to put that back out there. Yes, Kelly, that is Courtney Gaines, who does usually play creepy redheaded weirdo guys in movies. Um, I have seen him in a comedy before, but most of his career was made up of these weird, oddball, creepy characters. But for instance, he was Malachi in Children of the Corn. Robbie say, you should do a review. I'd like to hear what you didn't like about it. Yeah, that would be great too. Darren, you say, I will give the new Evil Dead film a go. I was hoping it was more like Demons 2, but have been told it's not. No, Darren, I would have to go with the people that says it's not like Demons 2. I did not feel like it was like Demons 2 at all. Oh, that's right. So you haven't got the issue resolved with your internet yet. Well, if by some miracle, Uncle Bill, your internet gets situated by next Monday, you are more than welcome to come in there live with whoever wants to come on with me. And if not, feel free to come in the chat just like you come in here tonight. And oh, that's right. I wasn't sure if that was a one-off, Darren, or they were going to continue that. Maybe Uncle Bill can elaborate a little bit on that. Uncle Bill, you said, hopefully they fix my internet by then, but yeah. Texas said Courtney Gaines was great as Red Dick in Lust in the Dust. I don't think I've seen that. Yeah, right. They recorded and makes TK upload it. LOL. Okay, so I think I'm caught up on. I think I'm gonna turn my banner off because we have officially finished the Burbs watch along. So I don't think I need that going across there. But I told y'all while we were doing this watch along, or while I was doing this watch along, I thought of an idea, and I'll just run it by you guys and see what you think. So I will still be the first Saturday and Sunday of every month. I will be doing 2 horror movie watch alongs. But here was my other thought as we were going through this one, because this is the first time I've ever did a watch along for a comedy movie, I believe. If I had before and you guys want to correct me on that, feel free. But I believe it's the first time I've done that. So my idea for next Sunday, because Saturday I will be doing House on Sorority Row, and that'll be the horror watch along. But Sunday, I thought I would try the Goonies. So, what does everybody think of a watch along for the Goonies next Sunday? Because I think it would be fun. I think it would be as fun, maybe even more fun than the Burbs tonight that we did. The Goonies is a part of a lot of our childhoods. And so I just, nostalgia and all that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Robbie say, Dana, check out Lust in the Dust, Divine, and Tab Hunter are hilarious. I definitely will have to check that one out, Rob. Blissful, I have not. You say, Dana, you should see all the horror shirts they have on Temu. Um, I'll have to check that out. Johnny Salas, see Uncle Rad do a shoot interview about Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Blissful, you say you're in? Awesome. Rob, I would love to get CK to join in, and this might just be the movie to get him in on. I think the last time CK was on one of my watch alongs was back when we did Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. And so, yeah, I would love to see the return of CK on one of my watch alongs. Kelly, you say, I love the Goonies. Texas says, sounds great, Dana. So I'm getting a lot of positives here. Hey, Dirk. Turkey said everyone has a rant. What the hell's going on? That's probably because I've made a lot of people moderators. Dirk, do you want to be a moderator? Because I'm having a little trouble with somebody that wants to be a jerk. So I'm making several people managing moderators on my streams, and I'll probably have to add people each time, but I don't know if that sticks. But if you want to be a managing moderator, I will be glad to add you, Dirk. Rob, you say you'll push him towards it? Okay, cool. Oh, that's a good question, Kelly. You say, have you ordered from Temu Blissful? I was thinking about it, but I was wondering if it was like Wish. Blissful, you say, Kelly, yes, and Texas has gotten me some beautiful shirts. So Dirk, you say, sure. So let me, hold on here. Oh, sorry, Darren. I think I did add you. Okay, you got a wrench beside your. I bet that did kind of. Dirk was like, "What in the hell?" Okay, so I'm adding Dirk now. So we've got a whole heck of a lot of managing moderators now. Darren, you should see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should see a little wrench beside your name, because I just went back and checked and it looked like you did. I don't want anybody to feel left out now. Blissful, you said, Kelly, I got a water bottle that's around 20 on Amazon. I got it for $7 for the same thing. That's cool. Oh, no, that's okay, Darren. Well, Rob, I would add Uncle Bill as a moderator. I would have added CK as a moderator, but I don't know if they would want to. If they would want to, great. If they don't, that's great too. I mean, I trust all of you guys in here and know that you wouldn't like just go crazy and start kicking people out for nothing. Yeah, but yeah, being as Uncle Bill is not a moderator right at this minute, he better watch his sass. He better not turn into Uncle Rad on us. Rob, you already banned him. Cool, Dirk. Once again, I would love to have you on next Monday, not this coming Monday, but next Monday. I'm going to have like a free for all review and just throw things out there about what you liked, what you didn't like, if you hated it, or if you loved it, if it was just meh. I just want to get as many people in here as we can and just have a free for all discussion on Evil Dead Rise. So if you want to join in on that, you are more than welcome to. Wow. So Dirk only gave it 3.5 out of 5. John, you say, my only complaint, I wish they'd have played the original music from the OG Evil Dead at the end. It's not a spoiler, just a minor fan service thing for me. Oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah, the waltz old time music. That would have been, yeah, I think that would have been a good choice if they had did that. And because I'm so proud of this, small things make me proud, Um, and you guys might not think anything of it. And I realize that people can go back and rewatch this and watch everything. But I did create, for those of you that weren't in here at the beginning, um, I did create a little intro for my new segment, the Daily Grindhouse. So for the benefit of you guys that are in here now and weren't in here earlier, I'm just gonna replay that real quick for you. It's just about 30 seconds. Okay. Just just a little indulgence there. Darky said, I only have one gripe. Sure, I'll join for that. Cool. I hope we have, a pretty big group. Um, Kelly, you said, what time are you thinking for Goonies, Dana? What do you think would work best for most of you guys? Would 6 work or would 7 work better for you? Because I usually on Sundays, I try to do them a little bit earlier because I know a lot of people are going to be going to work on Monday morning. And so that's why I make them earlier. But I am fully, flexible on the time. If the majority of you guys want at 7 or even later, like 8 o'clock Eastern time, I am open to any and all suggestions. Dirk, you said they had plenty of fan service, John. I I would agree with that too. John, you say, haha, agree, Dirk. A couple of the lines I was like, boo. But I get why they did it. You're asking Sarah, Rob. Cool. It might be easier to get Sarah to answer than to get CK to answer. Uh, so I'm probably going to stay on here for about another 10 minutes and get off here about 9. For those of you that were late arrivals and didn't hear me, and I'm not bragging on the appearance of how my webcam looks now, but I just kind of wanted, I put out these feelers earlier for the people that were in here at the beginning to see what people thought. Are you noticing a change in how the image or the video is through the webcam now? And I'm hoping it's a positive one because I did some tweaking to my webcam settings based on a video that this guy made on YouTube about making your webcam almost like a DSLR camera. I was like, hey, well, worth a try because I really don't want to drop the $400 or so for a DSLR camera that I'm only going to be using for streams because I'm not a professional photographer or anything like that. So I wouldn't be using it for anything other than streams. Well, thank you, Dirk. Blissful, you say it looks good. Dirk says, yeah, it looks much better. Yeah, I don't think that I look all pale and washed out and all of that. That was something that I was trying to get away from, and I just wasn't sure how to do it. And then after watching this guy's about a 12-minute video, I was like, oh, wow, and you can look at your video while you're adjusting these things, and it's just, kind of when to stop, adjusting it. And so now I've noticed that my skin tone is normal looking. I'm not all pale and washed out. The colors are popping more and all that. And that's really, really what I wanted. And I kept wondering why I couldn't get, that uh, result, and then come to find out there were settings that were off that I needed to adjust. And I have a Logitech streaming cam. I think it's the same one that John has now. And I turned the HDR on as well, which I think makes somewhat of a difference as well. Rob, are you wanting the info on the adjusting the settings on your webcam? I can get that for you. Just 1 second here. Okay. So let me get this link and put it back in the chat for this. So there it is, that the video that the guy did on turning or making your webcam look like a DSLR camera. Well, I was glad to have you in here, John, and you come back anytime. Thank you for saying it was a good stream. Yeah, definitely let me know how those settings work for you. Okay, so Dirk wanted it. Uncle Bill wanted it. Rob wanted it. Oh, yes, definitely. There are a bunch of like appliance repair videos and, car repair videos, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Turkey say, just post it. Everybody wants it, laughing my ass off. So there it is, guys. The link for that. You're very welcome, guys. I hope that it helps everybody. And just a reminder that the guy is using, I believe, a Logitech C920 or something like that. And, but I will say, I think if you can get into the settings for your camera, you can go by what he's saying and adjust, any of your camera, no matter what kind of webcam you have. Because basically the title says how to make any webcam look like DSLR. So if you can get into the settings, you can see things like, white balance and brightness and contrast and exposure and gain and all of that he talks about in this video. Yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? Rob, you say we're all going to look great for your ED stream. Yes, I think the color looks more natural, and then like things like reds and pinks and even the yellow and the orange and stuff on my Dawn of the Dead shirt really pop now, as opposed to everything just looking so washed out. Yeah, ED stream. I know what Dirk's getting at there. Um, so I got about 3 more minutes on here before I'm going to call it a night. But if anybody wants to throw anything else in the chat, if they've got any, suggestions, I do want to, tell you guys again that you guys that were came in here a little bit later, that keep an eye out because it's going to be the return of the green screen. Perhaps it may even be on the Wednesday stream that TJ and I do for the first half of the episodes of the first season of Monsters. Okay, if it comes in time, by golly, I'm going to have it set up. And again, like I said earlier, this green screen is one that you basically pull up instead of pulling down like a film strip screen or a screen that you're going to, project a movie on or whatever. And so you basically pull it up, set it behind you, you're good to go. Now, I know what Steve's going to say. He's going to say, God, Dana, why did you waste more money on another green screen when you had the pop-up one that's strapped on the back of your computer chair? Okay, here's why. I'm always trying to improve the quality of my streams. Not only for me, but for you guys, because if my streams look like shit, if they're not exciting looking, then that's detrimental to you guys. You're going to get where you don't enjoy them. It's like, dang, Dana looks like shit on there. She's all washed out and all that stuff, and now we don't have those exciting green screens things and all of that. So my pop-up one, basically, that I strapped on the back of my computer chair was great. I like it. But here's the thing about it. The fabric on that sucker is not really tight enough. And so there are little creases in there. And anybody that has used green screens for any amount of time knows that if you have creases in the fabric of your green screen, guess what? It's going to cause shadows in there and it's not going to look as good. Okay. And it's not going to necessarily be as seamless. Okay. So, and you also have to have good lighting, which I'm probably going to have to adjust my lighting regardless of getting the new green screen. But this new green screen that you just pull up and set behind you is very, very tight. The fabric on it is very, very tight, which hopefully will mean no creases and no shadows, and it will look a lot better. So, I've got new equipment coming in, new things to try, and all of that. Uh, Kelly, you look fine. I've seen you on. You look great. I mean, you're a beautiful woman. Rob's lucky to have you. So don't worry about that. If they did have a setting, I would use it. But, we don't need that. All I've been told I look good even without makeup on, which, I don't know. I beg to differ with that. But I have a little bit of makeup on tonight, mainly because, I'm feeling a lot better today. But, the last week or two, I haven't been feeling too great. And so I thought, well, today I'm going to put some makeup on and maybe that'll overall just make me feel better. Yeah, exactly, Blissful. Good point. Kelly, if you were 50 pounds lighter, you would blow away with a breeze. We don't want that happening. Um, Dirk, he said, I'm watching the worst damn Jallo ever made, Scorpion with two tails, but it has the same score as Gates of Hell. Really? I've heard of Scorpion with two tails. I don't know if Steve has that one or not, but I don't know if I've watched that one. Robbie said, I'll set up our green screens too. We used them on our rope video to look like we're in the apartment. That is really cool. By the way, I need to see that video too. Blissful, you say, Dirk, Gates of Hell is the name of the town I live in. There you go, Texas. Another good recommendation. Uh, Darren, I don't have anything coming in right away. I've got some on pre-order. I've got things like Motel Hell, 4K pre-order, People Under the Stairs, Creep Show. I think, but a lot of those aren't coming out till like May or June. So, but I am thinking about, I mean, I know this one isn't a horror one, but I'm thinking about getting that Criterion 4K of Dazed and Confused here. You know, I got my finger pressed or poised above that order button. So I think I'm going to be moving that way soon. Uh, Robbie said, I came really close to buying one that attaches to the chair. My problem is my camera's picture is so wide. It's a struggle to get a shot where you don't see the edges. I'd love to see what you bought. Yeah, I got a little bit of a smaller size because this space behind me, I don't know if y'all can tell, but there's not a lot of space behind me. So one screen that I ended up getting was not a pull-up screen. It was basically a photography setup. And we use it for like if me and Steve want to do pictures and put something behind us or be able to take us out of the picture and put us in a different environment or something like that. But yeah, I'll definitely, it's supposed to come in Wednesday. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll come in earlier. And I can kind of show it off a little bit earlier. But if not, I'll definitely try to show it Wednesday as long as it comes in. And it should come in before 8 o'clock when TJ and I do the monster stream. Kelly, you say, haha, thank you, Blissful. You only see me from the middle up. I've got all the junk in the trunk. I've seen you get up though, Kelly. You don't have any junk in your trunk. Um, yes, I definitely. I think I'm subscribed to you guys, so I just need to go back and watch all your videos. You girls, y'all are too hard on yourself. Blissful, you say, Kelly, I'm top heavy and short. I keep falling over. Um, So, guys, it is now officially 9:05. I always go past time, but I want to thank everybody so much. We still got 7 people in here. Um, I want to thank everyone for their continued support of my channel. I am always wanting to improve. So if you guys have got any suggestions for improvements, I do have a new microphone that Steve doesn't know about. If he watches this video, he will, but he never watches all of my videos past the beginning part or my streams or whatever that I want to try out. But I I guess I want you guys to be able to see it because it's kind of like, I don't know if it's the same brand or not, but it kind of looks like the one Garrett has, where it kind of has the multicolored lights going up and down it. And I have figured out a way to hook that one to my mixer. So, but I do want to get a new arm or whatever you want to call it to put that microphone in, so that you guys can see it better, because what's the use in having a microphone with little pretty colored lights on it if nobody's going to see it but you? So when it sits there on my desk, it's below the frame and you can't see it. Um, so when I get that set up, I will, and maybe I need, if I'm going to hook it to my mixer, I may need to get something more like a stand, but a stand where it goes up a little bit higher so you guys can see it. But I don't know. I haven't got to that yet. Um, Kelly, you say you won't tell. Yeah, I think the chances are pretty slim. I mean, I've had the thing for over a month. But usually what happens is he just out of the blue comes over here where I've got all my crap and says, "Well, where'd this come from? You know, why'd you get this? Why'd you need that? Um, your microphone's good enough." I mean, he said that a while back when he knew that I was getting the mixer, and the mixer came with a microphone. But yeah, just guys, if you have any suggestions for improvements, you know, if the audio's ever crappy, if the image gets crappy again, you know, that totally won't hurt my feelings. You can say things like, Dana, have you ever looked into checking your settings for different things? Because it might make it better. I'm just sad that it took me this long to be able to get the live stream image coming from my webcam to look decent and normal, instead of making making me look all washed out and sickly all the time. Uh, Rob, you say Steve really needs a new mic for his birthday. You know, I'd ask him about it, but he'd probably say, "I don't need a new microphone. My mic's fine. You're the one that's wanting to buy all these new microphones and lights and all that jazz." But he's got the same type of microphone that I'm currently using right now. Uh, Only mine is, and you guys can't see it, but it's kind of a pinkish purplish on the bottom, and his is just all black. Um, but so I have heard things about Steve's microphone that he's got his sound turned up too loud. Do I sound too loud when I'm using my mic? Because maybe it's just a setting thing for him. But if I sound like I'm screaming at you guys, maybe I need to adjust something with my mic. Um, oh, well, Rob, you say everything looks and sounds great tonight. Well, I appreciate that. Turkey said, yeah, he's loud as hell. I don't think it's the mic. He's been too used to screaming at the dogs for so long, he just uses that voice. Um, Rob, you say nope. So, with all that being said, again, I want to thank you guys for all your continued support of my channel. Um, it really, it really means a lot to me, and I'm not lying, because without you guys, I would have nobody to share this content with. Because I mean, I love Steve. I don't want y'all to think he's an ogre or an asshole or anything, but he just has no interest in what I'm doing, what kind of streams I'm doing, what kind of watch alongs I'm doing. Nothing. So I kind of depend on the audience I have on here to let me know what they'd like to see, what they would like to be involved in. Because as I've said before, I want this to be part of the horror community, or just part of the movie fan community. And I want you guys to feel a part of it. Even if I'm heading up these live streams, I still want you guys to feel like you have a say so in what kind of content I put out. What do you guys want to see from me? Um, and, like Texas, for instance, he came up with some excellent choices for future live streams, and he's going to join me on those. For John Waters, William Castle, Herschel Gordon Lewis, we've got a bunch of stuff. As soon as I work out the details with Texas, I need to message him on Facebook, actually. and see if we can iron out all the details on those. Um, so, Rob, you say he frequently sounds really blown out. You have a good night too, Darren. Thanks for stopping by. Well, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. I'm getting, a little bit. Usually, what I try to do when I do these, if in case anybody is interested, is just try to make it free formed, relaxed. I'm never, I try to be professional to a point. You know what I mean? But then I also want it to be a friendly, relaxed atmosphere in these streams. And that's why I don't handle things with an iron fist. I'm not rigid about things. I'm very flexible, um, and generally just throw things at the wall and see what sticks. So I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying this stuff. I just want to get on here and literally what it is for me is I'm talking to friends on here. And, I don't get that at conventions now because, like I said before, that convention thing's not really happening. A lot of people are not able or not willing to go to conventions anymore. They just don't have the interest level. Um, and so this is almost the next best thing is being able to talk and interact with people in these live streams. And in some cases, having people come on the live stream with me, and then everybody interacts together. But thank you for saying I did a great job, Rob. I appreciate all that. Um, Thanks, Dirk. You say, yeah, Dana, I've told you before, your channel is like the Cheers song. Yep, where everybody knows your name, right? Texas, you say, well, work out all the details, Dana. I love the stream tonight and last night's as well. Well, I am so glad because that means I must be doing at least one or two things right if several of you guys are enjoying these streams. Oh, thank you, Rob. You say you always do. Kelly, thank you very much. You say, I agree, Dana. COVID really um, cut me off from people. It's nice to have friends to visit like this. Yes. And, in the digital age, it's great that we have all these avenues in order to connect to other people with similar interests. Because not only did COVID put the kibosh on people being in close proximity for quite a long time, uh, but things like the portal device and stuff like that have been really helpful to me keeping in touch with my family. Uh, Mother's Day a couple of years ago or so, I got my mom a portal and I got me one. And there for a while, during the height of COVID, especially, that was how me and mom communicate with each other. We were able to see each other. If my dad would come in there, I could see him too. If he came in the room where my mom was. And we don't use it so much now. And Steve is kind of pressing me to get rid of my portal. And I said, I don't want to get rid of my portal because who knows, we might have to use it again. Um, and mom still got hers. So why would I give up mine? He says some odd things sometimes. Blissful, you say Kelly saying there was no live music and now I'm just not into it. But anyway, thank you guys for coming, stopping by and sharing in this fun little trip down memory lane as we watch the Burbs together. And, look forward to. I'm going to do something Monday because, like I said earlier, the Matthew McConaughey thing's going to be through the day. So it's not going to conflict with anything that I might want to do at night. So I will be doing some. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It'll be a big surprise. Um, Tuesday, I don't know. Wednesday will be me and TJ doing the first stream on the first half of the episodes of the first season of Monsters. That sounds like a mouthful. Thursday, again, I don't know. Friday, probably not doing anything. Saturday will be a watch along for House on Sorority Row. And Sunday will be the Goonies. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys for all of this different stuff coming up. Um, Rob, a portal is basically sort of like an Echo device, like the Amazon devices. Only what you do with these is you can hook them to your TV. And it's basically a video camera that will track you. So if you're walking around the room where the TV is that you got this hooked to, it will follow you. So the person that you're having the conversation with can see you wherever you go in this room, pretty much. Now, if you go totally in another room, no. But if you've got it in the living room and it's hooked to that TV in the living room, and you can see the other person, like if most everybody has big screen TVs now, you can see the other person or people in your family or friends or whatever on your big screen television. So it's so cool. I would recommend those to anybody. Uh, Dirk, you want to know when the Evil Dead stream is? That's going to be next Monday because I'm giving people a week to see the movie that want to see Evil Dead Rise. But then, like John said, I think a week's long enough to give people some time to see it. And there's also going to be a disclaimer in the advertising for this stream that it is not going to be spoiler free. Everybody's going to be throwing everything out there. So if you don't want to know, don't say you weren't warned. So, yeah, nobody should have any room to complain on that. Robbie said, thanks for the explanation. So anyway, with all of that being said, thanks again, guys. It has been fun. But this gal's going to have to get some rest, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have to get some rest. So, on that note, I am going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.